What's going on, sports fans? There are four major components to a successful Super Bowl broadcast. The game itself, the pre-game and halftime show, and of course, the commercials. Who doesn't love the Super Bowl commercials? For the game itself, we have Super Bowl 21. Giants over the Broncos 39-20 from the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, California. Neither team won a Super Bowl prior to Super Bowl XXI, so it was the first Lombardi Trophy for the Giants. For the commercials, we have 1001 classic commercials from Mill Creek Entertainment. 16 hours running time. It's legit. It harkens back to a time when commercials were much more simpler to produce, but still entertaining, if not even more than the commercials we see now. And for halftime, appropriately so, we have a big giant NSYNC poster. And wait until you hear where I found it. This is my starting lineup as I welcome you to the Thrift Store Rundown Super Bowl Special. The Super Blast from the past, bringing the Super Bowl home on a budget. And be warned, YouTubers, if you say Super Bowl one too many times in your videos, the NFL's legal counsel will be on your behind. So, let's kick off! We're going to kick off with the official game program for Super Bowl 21. Retail price is $5. That was dirt cheap compared to all the other Super Bowl programs I reviewed, and I got it for 99 cents. So it's a touchdown right off the bat. Basically every NFL highlight from the 67th season, that was the 86-87 season, that you like is in here. Official signals, the scouting report, Super Bowl records, the NFL season review from 1986, along with the statistics and the Pro Bowl rosters, the standings for both the AFC and NFC, and a couple of special articles. The LA connection about the NFL and football as a whole, playing an integral part in Los Angeles, plus 5 games by Kevin Lamb. Since I'm a pop culture geek, and I care about the stuff that goes around the Super Bowl to accentuate its successful broadcast, that would be the pre-game and halftime shows and the commercials, we're going to be focusing on those as well. We're going to be putting a heavy emphasis on that in this program guide, just as I did with all the other programs I reviewed for the Super Bowl. Check the playlist in the description, there's going to be a lot of them. And if you like commercial advertising like I do, you will appreciate it more from the 80s than you do from today's standpoint. It's just nothing like it. It's like night and day. It's much more thorough, yet much more expressive. Try telling that to your typical millennial. This is what I care about the most. The warm-up, the entertainment, the sidelights, the media, the MVPs. In this case, it would be Phil Simms. John Madden and Pat Summerall called the game for CBS, which registered an 87.2 million viewer count. Attendance for the Rose Bowl, 101,063 hardcore fans. Phil Simms, again, MVP. It's also worth noting that he was the first football star to air in a "I'm going to Disney World" ad, which followed after the Super Bowl for every winning team.
Simms, you just won the Super Bowl. What are you doing next?
I'm gonna go to Disney World.
He was paid $75,000 for that. The lead-out show on CBS, which is the show that airs after the Super Bowl, a very coveted time slot, was a so-called hard copy produced by Universal Television about crime reporters, particularly ones in the police force. It doesn't have its own Wikipedia page, so I assume it wasn't very successful. Although it was co-created by one of the writers of Columbo and Murder, She Wrote. So it had a chance, especially when it aired after the Super Bowl. For tonight's telecast on NBC, Super Bowl 52, the lead-out shows will be NBC's unbelievably acclaimed drama This Is Us, And after your late local news, a special Super Bowl edition of The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon, featuring the cast from This Is Us, Justin Timberlake, who will be headlining the Pepsi halftime show tonight, and Dwayne Johnson. So you got quite a good lineup after the Super Bowl. And as far as this program goes, it's just your typical Super Bowl program. If you saw many Super Bowl program videos on this channel, I assume you know the rundown that goes along with this. The one gripe I have with this is that it's worn and torn, the cover here. It's torn a little bit here and worn a little bit here. Torn on the top left, worn on the bottom left. So that's my one gripe with this. But overall, I gotta give Super Bowl XXI Pistol Game Program 4.5 out of 5 claps. That would be a total of 90 points. Had it not been worn and torn, I would have given it the full 100. And by the way, I'll explain my new rating system at the end of this video, or probably in a separate video. But I would not see any football fan picking this up and feeling disappointed. You're going to like this quite a bit, especially if it's not worn and torn like this particular version is with the cover. There are 2 centennial celebrations to mark. United Way got the spotlight for their centennial celebration, centennial being 100 years, during the pre-game show, which was a salute to California as a whole, featuring the Beach Boys. Plus, Neil Diamond sang the national anthem, and Willie Davis, a Hall of Famer, performed the coin toss. The halftime show was a Walt Disney production, celebrating 100 years of Hollywood, with a dazzling display by Southern California's marching bands and drill teams. Alright my friends, that was the end of the first quarter. Now we move on to the second. 1001 Classic Commercials from Mill Creek Entertainment. It's a 3-disc set, over 16 hours of the greatest TV commercials. An entire history of American pop culture in its most entertaining form. Tons of fun for the whole family is in store with this comprehensive collection of the most unforgettable, exceptional, and memorable commercials to hit the small screen. This is an entire history of American pop culture in its most eloquently simple and straightforward form. Enjoy reminiscing about years gone by while watching all of your favorite commercials from the past. Includes legendary favorites from some of the most well-known household brands, like Speedy from Alka-Seltzer, the Jolly Green Giant, Bobby, Marlboro, Sevy, and more. And speaking of Marlboro, they were definitely pretty prominent during football years, especially among the Cowboys. And they're also popular among my parents, and that's sad to say. This is an absolute gem that I picked up for $2.69. And like I said, it's a 3-disc set. This one contains beverages, bread, candy, gum, cereal, condiments, snacks, action figures, board games, toy cars, dolls, playsets, toy guns, and toy train commercials, among more commercials. So I would call this the Concession and Fun disc. Concession and Entertainment disc. Disc 2 would be cigarettes, deodorant, hair care, medicine, saving, skincare, soap, toothpaste, mouthwash commercials, and more. So this would be the Hygiene and Disregard for Hygiene disc. Hygienic and non-hygienic disc. Disc 2. And for disc 3, I'd call this the Miscellaneous disc. Commercials for airlines, 2 airline commercials to be exact, appliances, beer, cameras, cars, auto parts, coffee, fashion, financial, gas, oil, military, music and stereos, pet food, political, tourism commercials, and more. In fact, there's even advertisements for classic TV shows, like Lost in Space and The Man from U.N.C.L.E., and a promo for the Olympics. And the Olympics are exactly 4 days away, so perfect timing. But why this is my favorite disc is because it contains drive-in advertisements. The drive-in movie theater is an endangered species in movie viewing entertainment. There are currently less than 500 of them. And the first drive-in theater was in New Jersey. I believe it was the Starlight Drive-In, which is open today. I used to produce and edit a series here on YouTube called Drive-In Dreamers, where amateur YouTubers like myself, although I've never been to a drive-in theater, visit the less than 500 theaters across the country and review them and just enjoy themselves as they film their experiences there. It was a lot of fun to produce and edit. And I gotta tell you, the drive-in advertisements, mostly concession stand based here, harken back to a time when movie viewing was fun and magical, and it still is, but you'd be lucky to find a drive-in where you can watch all the movies that your heart desires under the stars. The audio and video quality isn't really spectacular if you're a modern pop culture geek like myself, but I actually consider this an authentic representation of commercials when they aired in this time. We're talking ones from decades gone by. And I don't know about you, but if I have to watch commercials, I have to choose them from the decades gone by. From the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, and even the ones from the dawn of the new millennium. That's what makes 1001 classic commercials such a gem. There are no commercials from the dawn of the new millennium, not even anything from the 90s, not even from the 80s. We're talking about 50s, 60s, and 70s. 1001 classic commercials gets a rating of 5 claps, 100 points. 1001 classic commercials is just an absolute gem, and a DVD set you absolutely should pick up if you ever find it. That's the end of the second quarter. Moving on. Halftime! Before I get into the next product, this is my halftime story for you. I was coming out of my girlfriend's house after a particularly fun night together, and what did my wandering eyes see? An NSYNC poster. It was near one of my girlfriend's trash cans, or one of my girlfriend's neighbor's trash cans. By the way, in her neighborhood, there are a couple of guard dogs who are just annoying as ever. So, quick halftime story for you on where I found it. Now, let's get to the poster itself. End of halftime, now, third quarter, NSYNC. Now this is perfect timing because you know who's going to be headlining the Pepsi halftime show? Justin Timberlake. Now I don't know about you, but I'm not an NSYNC fan. I'm not even a Justin Timberlake fan. But I did see this near my girlfriend's trash can, and my girlfriend's neighbor's trash can. This particular poster was photographed by Carlo Dalla Cesa. It's from Winterland in San Francisco, California, manufactured and distributed by a company called Funky Enterprises, Richmond Hill, New York. It's authentic, it's not signed or anything, but I thought it would add a nice little nostalgic touch for the dawn of the new millennium to my studio here. And it said, Guati, free. Justin, we're gonna have a glass of Pepsi on you. Don't disappoint. He has to redeem himself because we all remember one of his previous halftime shows before with Janet Jackson and that wardrobe malfunction, which was covered beautifully by the pop-up book of Celebrity Meltdowns. One of my favorites. Check that out. Video below. So that's the end of the third quarter. Moving on. Fourth quarter, we're going to secretly phone them and get their Super Bowl predictions for who they want to win. Hey everyone! Who do you want to win the Super Bowl?
Philadelphia.
That's my stepdad, Philadelphia. Jeff, what about you? He's going to root for the Eagles. Mom, what about you? She said Patriots. I'm going for Patriots too. Why am I going for Patriots? My favorite YouTuber, my YouTube idol. His name is Jonathan Paul of Dog Wheel Productions, hails from New England. So, in his honor, myself and my mom are rooting for the Patriots. Who cares about the Flake game? Am I right? Sorry, John. I know you can. I know you can a lot. I also want to give him particular kudos for the fact that it's his birthday tomorrow, and he and his lovely wife Rebecca, an up-and-coming author, are actually going to be having a little baby girl named Emily Paula. So special kudos to them. John, I hope the Patriots give you a birthday present, an early birthday present you won't soon forget. And if not, at least your newborn baby girl will be the best consolation prize in the history of the universe. Your universe, I mean. And the fourth quarter, now post-game report. Now it's time for my post-game reviews. Super Bowl 21 program guide. I'm going to give it 4.5 claps out of 5. That's 90 points. Again, not a really big fan of the fact that it's worn and torn on the top left and right, but you won't be disappointed if you pick it up. 1,001 classic commercials, 3-disc set from Mill Creek Entertainment. I give it 5 claps, 100 points. It's an absolute gem. You're going to love it. And the NSYNC poster, 3 claps, 60 points. I'm not an NSYNC fan, but I don't particularly hate the poster. I mean, who's going to pass up a free NSYNC poster? Especially if you have Justin, Chris, JC, Lance, and Joey. All 5 of them in the same poster. It's not signed or anything, but I thought it would add a nice little touch to the studio, and it did. And with that, that closes up the Super Bowl special, the Super Blast from the Past. Thank you all for watching. Enjoy the big game. If you happen to go to any Super Bowl parties, then stay safe, don't do anything reckless, or you're the one that's going to end up with the penalty. This has been the Thrift Store Rundown, bringing the Super Bowl home on a budget. Enjoy the game!